Welcome back to Working Brothers. Tonight we have a review on the Century FC-90 welder. It is a 90 amp, 30 to 90 amp flux core welder. We've had this for about a year now, I think a little over a year, and we've done many projects with it. Before I jump into that though, real quick, I need to lay a ground rule real quick. I'm not a professional. I've never taken any formal classes. I think that this machine is meant for garage guys like me and homeowner maintenance type people that just want to be able to glue some metal together. So that's the first thing you need to understand before we dive into the review. So I'm going to kind of cover the bad about it first. Number one, you'll see this Harbor Freight ground clamp that's on here. This is an all brass ground clamp because the ground clamp that comes with this unit is absolute garbage. The spring in our first year of using it has already completely worn out, and not to mention the contact points are just not even adequate. It seems to me like, I mean, it makes the welder weld. I can't tell you how much better this ground clamp is than the one that actually comes with it. The next thing is the leads are short for both of these. They're like maybe 5-7 feet, very short, so don't expect nice long leads. Don't expect any wire with it. You got to purchase wire when you purchase the unit separately. And then just one more thing that's kind of negative that you need to know is that it comes with no equipment. You have to purchase everything that you need when you buy the welder: helmet, gloves, chip and hammer, everything that you would need for welding when you purchase this welder. Now the good, I'm comparing it to what I've seen when I was doing my research to buy this welder. I had seen a few other welders. One of the things I noticed is on a lot of the cheap units, the contact tip is always hot. When you press the trigger, all it does is activates the wire feed mechanism. This gun is not like that. It is a little better than that. It is not hot when the trigger is not pressed. One of the other things to compare about it to other units like it that you might be considering, it has fully adjustable dials for wire feed speed and voltage control. So I know that, again, on some of those other smaller, cheaper welders, what I've seen is they have 2 switches, and that gives you 4 options for your welding voltages, where this is fully controllable. You can dial it right in if you can get good enough at this at welding to figure out exactly where you want that dial set. Just gives you a little bit more control. The dials feel really nice, very tactile, just good dials. It is a 110 volt welder only, no 220, 240. You load your spools right in the top here. Open up the lid there, and you have your wire drive mechanism, which has 2 steel wheels in a plastic housing, which I think is okay. It holds 1 and 2 pound spools. No big spools. It has this chart here that gives you some settings to set the welder to, like most welders do when welding with certain thicknesses of steel. It is also a DC machine, where a lot of the cheap guys that you get for flux core welding is AC machines. So that's better, and from what I've read, that helps with spatter. The AC machines have a lot more spatter than this DC machine. Overall, everything works really well. Like I said, the ground clamp doesn't work anymore. We had to chuck it and buy this new one. And then, but the gun still works. The machine still works. The wire drive mechanism still works. We've put what? How many spools have we put through this? 4. We put 4 spools through it so far. So we're going to do some welding real quick on a piece of angle here on the bench vise just to kind of show you. It'll probably weld as good as you can. So my purpose in showing you these beads that we laid down on this piece of angle is just to kind of show, basically I think anybody can weld with this thing. If a professional's watching this, they might laugh at this bead that I laid here. This is mine. This, ooh, hot. Right there is Brandon's. Yeah, right there. And as you can see, I didn't finish the weld very well, but I started out okay. I don't know. It's not the best bead I ever laid down, but got a little thin right there, and then definitely thin at the end. I didn't finish that weld off very well, but basically, in my opinion, this thing's going to out-weld you, especially for the kind of people that are going to be looking to purchase this welder. Another thing you'll notice is there's a little bit of spatter there between these two welds. If that's all that's there, I don't think that's a big deal, especially for considering what you're going to be using this welder for. If you're building stuff for people and charging them money, yeah, maybe you don't want that. But if you're building stuff in your garage and your shop like we are, I think that this welder is awesome, and the way the welds turn out is fine, and it'll probably out-weld you, especially when you first get started. So just my 2 cents on how it actually welds.
There's a couple of things that I want to point out about my weld. It started out pretty good. You see these little falls, pretty consistent until you get to here where I didn't tie in my stop and start. I also didn't finish too well. I have 2 holes right there. It's not a bad welder at all. It definitely could, even for a CWI, produce a weld good enough to at least be passed.
So just in conclusion, I just want to say that if this is your first time here and you like this video, please go down and hit subscribe for us and give us a thumbs up. For more content like this, we actually use this welder and we do projects with it. So if that's the kind of stuff you're interested in, please hit subscribe to get that content in the future. Overall, I think that this welder is perfect for any home handyman maintenance guy. I think it's superior to the Harbor Freight $87 on sale special AC 125 flux core welder. I think it's superior to that, all your Amazon specials, things like that. Just one more last thing to mention is that this Century is made by Lincoln Electric. It is their homeowner line, I think I understand about it. Overall, it's a good welder. You should pick one up if you're needing something to stick metal together.